Right now, it's a rainy start to your first weekend of the holiday shopping season and another busy travel weekend, too. The new weather warnings that could affect your drive home. And this year's Battle of the Axe may be the most important one yet. The countdown to kickoff is on, and our team is in Minneapolis with what's on the line for the Badgers' last regular season game of the year.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Happy Saturday, everyone. Hope you're enjoying your holiday weekend. Chris and I sure have. We both got to spend some time with family. Maybe folks at home are waking up with their family still in their house. That's always a good feeling.
Absolutely.
Or maybe they're just digging into leftovers. And speaking of food, I wanted to bring up, I haven't really seen you in person. Your mac and cheese looked incredible. This man made his own Thanksgiving dinner, I think, for the first time?
Yeah, well, my mom was there, too, so I have to give her credit.
Okay.
So she was there. I think she was the true mastermind behind
Your
a lot
supervisor?
of it. But yeah, she was there, and then 2 of my youth group kids were there as well. One of them is a baker. He made a lot of the pies. Another one made the mashed potatoes from scratch. So, yeah,
and
we all made it a team effort.
You were on the mac and cheese, though?
I was on the mac and cheese,
Leftovers?
of course. There are leftovers. Lots of them.
Where are they?
Oh, yeah. In my fridge. But
okay.
I was eating them all last night. But I'll tell you what, they are delicious. I may have to bring some in at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also something you're good at besides mac and cheese. The weather. Take it away.
Really? I'm kidding. All right, we are watching the weather as we go into today. A lot of folks are getting ready to be headed home, and now we're watching this next storm system that's headed our direction. Already you can see some of that light snow breaking out throughout parts of northern Wisconsin. So let's say you're up near Portage and Poinette, Westfield, that's where you're seeing some of the snowflakes falling right now. Perhaps some sleet as you come on down closer towards the town of Columbia there. Over in Sauk County, we're seeing some freezing rain and sleet as well. But once you cross kind of into Dane County, right along I-94, we are more so seeing just liquid falling out of the sky. I think temperature-wise, we are warm enough at that point. Still, though, relatively dry throughout places such as Madison and Janesville, the southern tiers of the area. Not getting in on as much of the precipitation yet. We had a round of that move on through. That's towards the north now, and in the meantime, we are somewhat drier. We're sitting at 34 degrees with light rain coming down at the airport. As we look ahead throughout the rest of the day, those temperatures gradually warm up into the upper 30s for those highs. We will see the rain showers pretty much off and on all day long. And then we're going to pay attention to tomorrow when some of that could transition over to a period of some snow and light accumulating snow at that.
And since it's so cold outside, I know when I was driving it to work, it was almost like little ice pellets.
Yes, so there is some sleet that's been mixing in with this at times. I think as we warm up today, that does just become rain.
Okay, good to know. Thank you so much, and we'll check back in with you in just a few minutes. This weekend's precipitation could once again impact your travel plans with snow in the forecast, as Chris just mentioned. Today, slick roads tomorrow. AAA is encouraging all drivers to leave plenty of time. And it's not just Wisconsin getting hit this weekend. Stormy weather has been pounding parts of the west with snow and rain and wind is in the forecast to head east over the next few days. Even California's normally bone-dry Death Valley didn't escape the storm. In one day, the desert got 3 months worth of rain. Due to the weather expected, a couple of the biggest airline companies are now offering waivers for passengers traveling through the Northeast. For American Airlines, that includes nearly 30 airports. For Delta, it's around 24 airports. Both of those include some of the biggest hubs in the country, including New York and Boston. And if you're away from your TV this weekend, be sure to let people know they can always stay up to date on the incoming local conditions with our Channel 3000 First Alert Weather and Traffic app. That includes our free local forecasts and interactive radars and up-to-the-minute travel and road conditions. The other big story of the day is the Badgers. The Wisconsin football team is in Minneapolis, ready to battle for Paul Bunyan's axe. The Badgers and Gophers are part of the longest continuous rivalry in college football. Today's game could arguably be the most important matchup since the series started back in 1890. RJ Wilson joins us from Minneapolis with a final preview.
The 129th meeting between the Wisconsin and Minnesota football teams is one of the most significant in its history. It's pretty simple. The winner of the game wins the Big Ten West Championship and will face #1 ranked Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship in Indianapolis next Saturday. The Badgers certainly have motivation. They spent a year looking at a trophy case that doesn't have Paul Bunyan's axe. The Gophers won it back for the first time in 14 years, and it's really been bugging the Badgers.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Not looking back at all, everything that we've done will mean nothing if we don't win this game. So, we definitely want to make it memorable.
And a lot of guys in our program right now don't know what it felt like to not have it. So now just walk in the locker room and see it empty, it's a different feeling, and we have a different mindset going into this one.
The legacy here, as far as how long the Axe has been here, and being that one team that let it slip away. So now you got to do everything in your power to try to get it back and kind of restart a streak.
The weather could be a real issue for the game. A winter storm warning could dump anywhere from 6 to 12 inches of snow on TCF Bank Stadium. But if you play football in Minnesota in November, hey, it could happen.
This isn't Florida. We all know that. As much as we recruit and bring people up and they come to my house in June, that lake freezes. It's not that hard to figure out.
This season, the Gophers have had trouble filling TCF Bank Stadium for their home games. They did it against Penn State a couple of weeks ago, and the Gopher fans will be out to make it a home field advantage against the Badgers on Saturday. In Minneapolis, Jay Wilson, News 3 Now Sports.
Thank you to Jay, and our sports team will have live reports from Minneapolis during our evening shows today. Kickoff, reminder, again at 2:30. More local news now. Several law enforcement agencies in Dane County will continue their search today for an elderly couple who went missing after Thanksgiving dinner. Don and Colleen Soper left their family's house Thursday at 3 o'clock. They said they were going for a country drive, but ever since then, their family hasn't been able to find them. They're both 87 years old. Colleen has Alzheimer's with dementia, and Donald has diabetes, and his daughter isn't sure he has his insulin on him.
All we can do is search for them and continue to expand our search and pray.
Their car is a 2008 Dodge Caliber. It last pinged at the intersection of Highway J and 78. Right now, that's where the search is centered. We now know the name of the elderly woman killed in a Thanksgiving night fire in Beaver Dam. 82-year-old Eleanor Newman was planning on moving out of her home near Beaver Dam Lake in the town of Westford in just a couple of weeks. She died from her injuries in the hospital. Her 91-year-old husband, Ruben, was taken to the hospital as well, but he is expected to be okay. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. A 38-year-old man from Darlington has been arrested after driving into the Grand lighted holiday parade route in downtown Beloit overnight. Police say the driver has been identified as Curtis Metz, and he drove past a squad car and through the barrier at Park Street and Grand Avenue, prompting a chase that eventually ended in Winnebago County, Illinois. No one was injured. Metz now faces several charges, including a 5th offense OWI. Madison area businesses are hoping you remember them as you start your holiday shopping. Today is the 10th annual Small Business Saturday. 74% of consumers say they're choosing to support small, independently owned businesses this year. Many local shops are offering special deals and discounts to attract customers. Downtown Middleton and downtown Madison are celebrating with open houses. There's a holiday trolley running along State Street with welcome bags and treats for kids. There will be free ice cream from 11 to 1 at the newly renovated Garver Feed Mill today. And Monroe Street stores are giving away prizes like canvas bags. 67 cents of every dollar spent at a local store any day of the year stays right in the local community. Wisconsin farmers are also asking you to shop local as you pick out this year's Christmas tree. The state has more than 850 Christmas tree farms, putting Wisconsin at 5th in the country for the number of total acres of production. More than 700,000 evergreens are harvested here every season, generating more than $16 million for Wisconsin's economy. Around Madison, you can drop by Hahn's Christmas Tree Farm outside of Oregon, Jensen Trees in Verona, and Summers out in Middleton, just to name a few. And the price of a Christmas tree is up, according to the National Christmas Tree Association. It's a mix of supply and demand is the reason behind that. America is facing a Christmas tree shortage, while at the same time consumer demand is higher, especially from millennials. Despite the tight supply, the association assures that everyone will be able to find a tree if you want one this year. If you missed the Black Friday crowds but don't want to pass up on those deals, you are in luck. Although Black Friday is still one of the biggest shopping days of the year and the best day to pick up things like a new TV, the biggest savings on pretty much everything else can be found online.
The big tech items, I'd still go in store, but clothing, home goods, all of those other items you're going to gift, pajamas, socks, really Cyber Monday is probably your day to do it.
This is actually the shortest holiday shopping season in a long time due to Thanksgiving coming so late this year. Because of that, some retailers have tried to make up for those lost shopping days by rolling out online deals early. A reminder, Cyber Monday is this Monday. And those online orders will soon start showing up on our doorsteps. And the Madison Police Department is out with a reminder. They put out a video to remind people to be careful of porch pirates. Police recommend having packages delivered to your workplace instead of your house. They say shoppers should sign up for email or text notifications so they know when a package arrives. Now perhaps to the best story of the morning, a special welcome home this weekend for nearly 200 Wisconsin National Guard soldiers. The Red Arrow 2nd Battalion, 127th Infantry, has been in Afghanistan since late last year. They were welcomed back during a ceremony at Volk Field Friday, exactly 1 year since their send-off ceremony at Lambeau. They have been demobilizing at Fort Bliss in Texas for the past couple of weeks. Another 200 soldiers from the same battalion also returned to the U.S. last weekend. Their homecoming celebrations have not yet been planned, but welcome home to all of them. Time now, 5:11. After a rainy start to the day, there is a silver lining to this weekend's weather. Chris will tell us why things are looking up weather-wise heading into the month of December. You're taking a live look over the Capitol this morning. We will be back with your first alert forecast right after this.
Yesterday, if you were watching here, one of the things I told you is to keep your eyes on the upper Midwest because there would be a storm system that really got its act together in just a matter of hours. And here we are now. That storm is on the maps, heavy snow falling throughout parts of the Dakotas and the High Plains into parts of Minnesota and even northern Wisconsin, folks. This is the area where we are expecting a pretty powerful winter storm. Winter storm warnings are in play. Blizzard warnings are in play, along with winter weather advisories. Those come as close as just north of Madison. Places like Portage, Beaver Dam, over towards the Dells, Sauk City, Wisconsin Dells as well, back through Vernon and Crawford counties, all under the winter weather advisories. Check out the travel routes that are along that as you work your way towards the north. Headed towards Green Bay and Wausau, you are under a winter storm warning. Here's radar over the past 12 hours showing you that snow as it's moved on into town, north on along Interstate 39, dealing with some of that snow right now. I think that only increases as we go through the day and through the weekend, folks. High resolution Doppler as we come in closer is free of most of the moisture as you work your way down towards Madison and pretty much along and south of I-94. But as we work your way north and east of Madison, we're seeing some of that snow. Places like Waupun getting in on some snowflakes right now. Same for Marquesian, Cambria, up towards Princeton. You will be dealing with the snow there. We work our way over towards the west. That's where we're just a little bit warmer. So we're seeing more of a sleet and freezing rain mix that goes from the Dells back through Hillsborough and then over towards Viroqua right now. Then as you jump down towards Dane County, again, most of us dry right now. We're dealing with a little bit of drizzle. Same can be said as we jump our way down towards Rock County, but I think that increases as we go through time. 34 degrees at the airport right now. A few raindrops coming down. Those winds out of the east at 10 miles per hour. But notice the warmer air moving in just along the state line. 37 in Janesville, Platteville coming in at 36 right now. This is what's going to help us stay more so liquid instead of wintry as we go throughout the day. But that rain sticks around with us, folks. Here we are as we move towards 10:30 tonight. I still think it's going to be all rain, but pay attention to what happens into the day on Sunday. Sunday, 8 a.m., that colder air starts to move in. All of that snow that you see towards the north has somewhere to go, and that's towards the south and east. Now, I do think that could be some light accumulating snow as well, perhaps on the order of an inch or two, especially as you work your way towards the north. Once you get towards central and northern Wisconsin up towards the Twin Cities, we're talking several inches of snow, perhaps as much as 6 to 10 inches of it. So that is something to be mindful of. That is why tomorrow is an alert day, but then we have a very long stretch of dry weather. Temperatures will be in the 30s, but I do think the week ahead looks nice before another chance of snow as we approach next Sunday and Monday.
So if you hold off to pick off your Christmas tree until the week, there seems like there's so many options for people to choose from.
So many options. Just choose a day and go do it for sure.
Yeah, this weekend, if you want to brave a little bit of snow, feel a little extra festive.
I think the snow is the best time to pick out the tree. That's just me, but
I know, we never agree. But
it's okay.
Thank you, Chris. Well, you'll soon start seeing more holiday decorations around the Madison area this weekend. Overnight, kids shared their Christmas lists with Santa. His families got into the holiday spirit at the annual Sun Prairie Fire Truck Parade. Trucks were decorated for the season as they drove down Main Street, and Santa Claus used his magic to light the downtown holiday tree. Following the parade, kids and their families were able to explore the inside of fire trucks while people listened to holiday music. Downtown sounds like a great time. Time now, 5:18. One of music's biggest names is canceling several tour dates due to injury. And one of the biggest TV franchises is celebrating a major milestone. Then our Will Loper shares the top movies you should be watching this holiday weekend. Trending news just ahead on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday. Welcome back. Let's take a look at what is trending this morning. After a 10-year break, the Pussycat Dolls are heading back on tour. Multi-platinum girl group has lined up 9 performance dates in the UK in April of next year. The Pussycat Dolls released their debut album in 2005 and have sold an estimated 54 million records worldwide. Tickets for their 2020 sale go on sale tomorrow. In the meantime, Madonna is canceling 3 upcoming shows of her Madam X tour due to medical issues. The 61-year-old says she had to cancel her shows in Boston this weekend due to the overwhelming pain from multiple past injuries. In a statement posted on Instagram, she apologized to her fans, saying, "Please forgive this unexpected turn of events. The shows will not be rescheduled, but refunds will be issued." The cast and crew of NCIS LA are celebrating the show's 250th episode. The show marked the milestone with a massive cake at a table reading. Cast member Eric Christian Olsen, who plays Detective Marty Deeks, co-wrote the episode. NCIS Los Angeles airs tomorrow night right here on News 3. With family in town, maybe you're looking for a relaxing way to eat your Thanksgiving leftovers and just lounge around, and we are here to help. Our Will Loper shares this weekend's 3 things to watch.
Well, no one told me about her.
I think what happened to my mom is that she got so focused on her family, she forgot about herself.
Honey, are you getting enough sleep?
Sleep? What's that?
New on home video this week is Where'd You Go, Bernadette?
You'll never guess what happened. She disappeared. Bernadette jumped out a window.
Kate Blanchett stars as a woman who has it all and goes missing, so her family sets out to solve the mystery of where she disappeared to.
A huge project has come up that will require me to go to Antarctica.
It's twice the challenge anyone ever imagines, with long stretches without sleep and exercise.
Sounds like I've been in training for this for the last 20 years.
Where'd You Go, Bernadette is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
I'm a man. I want you to meet my cousin, Russell Buffalino.
How are you? Hi, nice to meet you. It was like the Army. You followed orders. You did the right thing.
Newly streaming on Netflix this week is the film The Irishman.
A friend of ours is having a little trouble. Friend at the top. Back then, there was nobody in this country who didn't know who Jimmy Hoffa was.
Martin Scorsese directs the story of a hitman and his relationship to Jimmy Hoffa, with a cast for the ages, which include Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, and many more.
It's what it is. What it is. I know things they don't know I know.
The Irishman is streaming on Netflix now.
It's gonna happen. Either way, he's going.
My name is Noelle Kringle.
Morning, Princess.
My partridge in a pear tree underwear needs washing.
Oh, well, then my Christmas wish has been granted.
And now that Thanksgiving is over, Christmas movie watching can officially start. So check out a new one on Disney Plus called Noel.
For the first time in 2,000 years, Santa has disappeared.
I just said he should take the weekend off.
We must have a new Santa. Gabriel, Kringle.
Me? I'm in the tech department and loving it.
What about a rescue mission?
Anna Kendrick plays the daughter of Santa Claus, who must find her missing brother Nick so that Christmas can still happen.
Stay right where you are.
We are looking for Santa Claus.
You don't tell anybody who you are.
Where are you from? A little town up north.
Or where you came from.
Sir, it's a privilege to wear that suit. Put some pants on. So naughty.
Noel is available to stream on Disney Plus now.
Hello. We like your pants. They're jolly.
They're yoga pants, like yours.
These are my yogurt pants.
No, yoga pants.
Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch. And this is Will Loper for News 3 Now this morning.
Thank you, Will. And there's much more ahead on News 3 Now. Next, we're running through the morning's top stories, including everything that's on the line for the Badgers as the longest continuous rivalry in college football continues today. We'll be right back. Right now, we're sharing the story of a local teacher who's showing us that music can truly speak to anyone. We'll introduce you to this month's top-notch teacher.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. It's November 30th. Hope you're all enjoying a wonderful holiday weekend. I'm Christina Laurie. We'll get a check of your first alert forecast with Chris in just a second, but first, here are 3 things to know as you begin your day. Several law enforcement agencies here in Dane County will continue their search today for an elderly couple who went missing after Thanksgiving dinner. Don and Colleen Soper left their family's house Thursday at 3 o'clock. They said they were going for a country drive, but ever since then, their family has not been able to find them. They're both 87 years old. Colleen has Alzheimer's with dementia, and Donald has diabetes. His daughter isn't sure he has insulin on him. Their car is a 2008 Dodge Caliber. It last pinged at the intersection of Highway J and 78. Right now, that's where the search is centered. Wisconsin farmers are asking you to shop local when picking out your Christmas tree this weekend. The state has more than 850 Christmas tree farms, which puts Wisconsin at 5th in the country for the number of acres in production. More than 700,000 evergreens are harvested every season, generating more than $16 million for Wisconsin's economy. Around Madison, you can drop by Hahn's Christmas Tree Farm outside of Oregon, Jensen Trees in Verona, and Summers out in Middleton, just to name a few. And this weekend's weather could once again impact your travel plans. With snow in the forecast for today and slick roads tomorrow, AAA is encouraging all drivers to leave early. It's not just Wisconsin getting hit this weekend. Stormy weather has been pounding parts of the west with snow and rain and wind in the forecast. It's forecasted to head east over the next couple of days. Even California's normally bone-dry Death Valley didn't escape the storm. In one day, that desert got 3 months worth of rain. Now let's throw it over to meteorologist Chris Reese with a look at our Saturday forecast. Hi, Chris.
Yeah, that's right. We are still watching that major winter storm across parts of the area, especially throughout the upper Midwest. That's what we've been watching as we've gone through the past several days. Here's what's going on. It's this area of low pressure that's going to be adding to the rain and the snow, especially throughout the north. But as we go through time, watch how that colder air begins to work on into the state of Wisconsin. So this is tomorrow morning, earlier on. Eventually, we start to see that colder air wrap back around on the backside of the system. That will likely change things over to a period of some snow, and we could see some accumulation from that. So folks, as you travel north along the interstates this weekend, especially tomorrow, make sure that you have a winter weather kit in your vehicle just in case you run into trouble, but also give yourself plenty of time to reach your destination. Christina?
Great advice, Chris. A lot going on that map. Police in London are continuing their search right now for a motive into a new terror attack in the British capital. It happened on the London Bridge when a man wielding a knife went on a stabbing spree, killing 2 people and seriously wounding 3 others. Witnesses say he was wearing a suicide vest, but the vest turned out to be fake. Police shot and killed that attacker. Another stabbing attack in the Netherlands Friday at a shopping district in The Hague. The suspect there is still on the loose. A police spokesperson says all 3 stabbing victims are minors, but there is no indication of a terrorist motive. The conditions of the victims are still unknown. Time now 5:33. Music speaks to people and can speak for you when words can't. That's a direct quote from this month's top-notch teacher. Charlotte DeLeste and photojournalist Kathy King have more on Mark Saltzman's story.
Music that moves us moves too. It rises and falls, ebbs and flows, much like the ocean.
He's on this boat in the middle of the ocean.
Mark Saltzman has been immersed in music his entire life, and it started with his mom.
She's 87, soon to be 88, and we all my sisters and I had to take piano lessons. Not a choice.
First piano, then trumpet, which he proudly played under the instruction of the legendary Mike Leckrone.
He would always pride himself on the Thursday of Reg Week, he would know all the freshmen's name. That's like 200 people. And he did it. It was amazing. And the first time I met him, he's like, "You're Saltzman, right? From Janesville?" I'm like, "How did you know that?" People want that one-on-one connection.
That respect for connection led him to rooms like this. 31 years of leading pep bands, marching bands, orchestras, you name it. but it always came back to connection with students, any student who wanted to play.
Music is for everyone, and everyone can take part. That's why I enjoy this class so much.
This class gets all musicians involved. Some are nonverbal and have some physical limitations. It doesn't matter.
It's just finding them where they're at and getting them to be able to enjoy making some music.
And they do.
He felt those vibrations. It just brought him alive. And that's the moment when I realized that's the power of music.
Which brings us back to the ocean. Powerful, mysterious, rough, stormy at times, but also magical.
If somebody wants to be part of what you're doing, find a place for them.
A career teacher who's learned the value of going with the flow, moving all his kids like music moves him.
I was a band director, and now I am a teacher, and music is the vehicle. It's about connecting and meaningfulness, because to me that's what it's all about. You got to feel that you're part of something. Bye, Joes.
Wow, the impact a teacher can have. If you know of a great teacher, you can nominate him or her over at channel3000.com. Click on the news tab, then education, and that's where you can find all top-notch teachers. Well, more local news now. A lot is on the line in the Badgers' final game, regular season game today. In addition to Paul Bunyan's axe, a trip to the Big Ten championship game, and a possible spot in the Rose Bowl are up for grabs as the Badgers head to the Twin Cities to play the Minnesota Golden Gophers. The Badgers lost the axe to Minnesota last year in Camp Randall. That was the first time since 2003 that Minnesota beat Wisconsin in their annual rivalry game. So when the Gophers won Paul Bunyan's axe for that first time in 14 years last November, they paraded that thing all over the state. Some Badger fans and players were a little miffed the Gophers made such a big deal about it. But ahead of today's big game, Gophers head coach PJ Fleck tells Badger fans, don't be offended by their celebration.
I don't see that at all that way. Our state of Minnesota hadn't seen the axe for 15 years. I mean, that's like finding your long-lost grandfather and knowing that he exists, and then you find him. Don't you want to go see him? If he exists and he's in the state, you're going to probably drive and see the guy. It's the same thing. It wasn't like we were holding it out the window, driving through the entire state of Wisconsin. That would be showing off. But sharing it with our in-state alums, donors, boosters, supporters, I think that's culture. I think that's tradition.
It's a big game, big opportunity. It's definitely be fun. It's going to be a great feeling to get that axe back.
So our sports team is in the Twin Cities today and will be broadcasting live all day long. You can follow them on their social medias and right here on News 3 Now. Kickoff is at 2:30. Time now, 5:37. From Monroe to State to Willie, Madison has no shortage of streets lined with small businesses. And today is the day we celebrate them. We'll hear about the unique ways you can find great gifts and undeniable deals around town next on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday.
We've had a little bit of snow in the area earlier on this morning, but we are starting to warm up, at least in Madison. So that's allowing things to transition over to a period of all rain. Most of the wintry precipitation, you're going to find that throughout northern Wisconsin and northeastern parts of Dane County. So up near Sun Prairie, over towards Marshall, you may be getting in on a period of some sleet. That goes all the way over towards Johnson Creek. Then you work your way up towards Portage, Poynette, places like Montello and New Chester. That's where we are seeing at least some of the snowflakes mix in with that. But folks, overall, as you work your way along and south of I-90-94, that is where we are definitely seeing more of that warmer air take over. So we're looking at more so rain at that point. Speaking of rain, that's what's falling in Madison right now. The temperature at 35 will warm up towards 37 by 7 o'clock and then hover right around 38 degrees for several hours. It'll be breezy as well, with winds out of the east and southeast anywhere from about 15 to 20 miles per hour.
Every time you order a drink at your local coffee shop or buy clothes from a mom and pop store, you're making an impact in your community. Today is the 10th annual Small Business Saturday, and for every dollar spent at a small business, about 67 cents stays in the local community. Carol Schroeder from the Monroe Street Merchants Association is with us this morning. Carol, you're better known by some people in the community as Orange because you own Orange Tree Imports.
Yes.
How long have you owned that business?
We've been on Monroe Street for 44 years.
Okay, so a real community staple. And
Yes.
Monroe Street has been a hub for small businesses here in Madison. What are some of the benefits of owning a shop there?
It's a wonderful place to have a business because we're almost entirely locally owned. We support each other. We get wonderful support from not only the Monroe Street neighborhood, but also the entire Madison community, because Madison really values locally owned businesses, and we're very fortunate to be in a city that's true of.
And it's true all year round, but especially today, Small Business Saturday. So what special deals are you offering customers?
You know, we're delighted that American Express came up with the idea of promoting shopping locally, and we've taken advantage of it for 10 years. This year, we're celebrating 1 year post-road work on Monroe Street, and about 30 of our businesses have pooled together to contribute gift cards so that in each business, shoppers will have a chance to win one of the Shop Small tote bags that American Express has provided, and in that tote bag will be a gift card to a different business, because we want to encourage everyone to shop and dine and live on Monroe Street in all of our 60-some locally owned businesses.
And supporting each other has been something that you've done, as you mentioned, all through road work. You gave me a whole list. These are all of the stores that are participating. It's a long list. It fills the entire page. So what has it been like to be part of that community specifically?
You know, I really love my fellow business owners, and I benefit from their customers coming into my shop. And we also share promotions, the biggest one being the Monroe Street Festival, but we have Holiday Glow on Monroe coming up on December 7th, and of course Small Business Saturday. For us, it's particularly significant this year because not only are we a year after the big roadwork project, but there's no home Badger game. And when there's a home Badger game on Small Business Saturday, it's a little harder for people to get to Monroe Street.
Yeah, because of all the cars and traffic.
Exactly.
And just last question, if anyone is watching this at home and they're weighing the decision of whether or not to make it out of the house today, go shopping, maybe they're a little full from all that turkey we had, what would you say to them?
Well, take a look at MonroeStreetMadison.com to see all of the participating businesses, and come have a relaxing day and an entertaining day. It'll be a chance to really be part of the community and support local business at the same time that you're enjoying an outing, walking off some turkey, and getting a start on some Christmas shopping.
Thank you so much for talking to us, Carol. And I do want to point out your necklace. That is from your store. I know it was the first thing I complimented you on when I saw you.
And it kind of matches the Shop Small circles. Yes, exactly.
Yes, perfectly themed. Thank you so much, and good luck today with your business.
Thank you. We appreciate being here.
Could impact this afternoon's Badger game. You're looking live over the Capitol. Chris is back with a look ahead at your kickoff forecast on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday. But first, let's take a look at who is turning 3 years old today. Happy birthday to Tucker and all of the other kids celebrating this weekend.
About this time of the year, now that Thanksgiving is behind us, a lot of folks often ask the question, when can you hang your Christmas lights? Yesterday, I told you it was certainly a day to do it. Today is going to be a different story, only if it can't wait. But if it can't wait, I would do it right now, earlier on this morning, as things are essentially going to get wetter and wetter as we go towards the end of the day. By the time we get you towards this afternoon, folks, just forget it. You are not going to be able to get up there just because of the heavy rain and the wind. You will want to wait perhaps until tomorrow or early next week. Now, here's what we're tracking right now. This is an area of sleet and freezing rain, mainly north and east of Madison, anywhere from Watertown back through Johnson Creek, Waterloo, all the way up through parts of Columbia County. That is where we are seeing some of the freezing rain and sleet right now. That also goes back towards the Dells and up towards Camp Douglas, and just north of I-94, that's where we're seeing more so snowfall falling out of the sky. But then back towards the south and west, temperatures are a bit warmer. The precipitation comes down as liquid at that point. Yesterday, I told you to watch the upper Midwest for a big storm to be developing over the high plains. That's exactly what we are seeing right now. Folks, this is a very powerful storm system. Blizzard warnings in play throughout parts of Nebraska, through eastern South Dakota, even into Wyoming. But we have those winter storm warnings from the Twin Cities throughout northern Wisconsin, Green Bay, and the UP of Michigan, and then winter weather advisories as close as Columbia County, Sauk County, and just north towards the Dells. Let's put this into motion. Here we are this evening, 7 o'clock. Watch the warm front moving towards the north. This is what's going to keep things all rain for us as we go through the overnight hours. As this area of low pressure gets closer, it begins to draw in some colder air. So now we're at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. This is when I think southern Wisconsin gets in on a dry slot, so we'll see a break in the action. Meanwhile, snow still rages across northern Wisconsin and parts of southern Minnesota. Then we move in tomorrow afternoon. Here we are at 1:30 now tomorrow. That snow starts to move in on the backside of the system. We'll see the snowflakes fly pretty much all afternoon tomorrow. I think they'll turn off once we get you towards dinner time, and some of that could accumulate. That same model painting a picture of about 1 inch to 2 inches of snow pretty much from Madison and points north. I still think that could be even farther towards the north, folks. But we do have an alert day for your travel on Sunday. Then we dry things out as we go through the rest of the week. Next Sunday looks a little bit warmer with temperatures near 40 before another chance of snow by next Monday. Christina.
I'm glad we have 1 week potentially without snow.
You know, I'll tell you what, around this time of the year, we do have to soak that up because you never know sometimes.
I'm going to be celebrating. Chris is going to be crying. He loves snow too much.
It's okay.
Well,
we have a whole winter.
Oh my gosh, stop reminding me. Well, be sure to stick with News 3 Now all day long, and then tomorrow morning, what better way to use your Thanksgiving leftovers than by throwing them together in a sandwich? We have some easy ideas for kids and adults too, starting at 6:30. But first, we'll introduce you to some kids who wanted to take a crack at cooking the Thanksgiving turkey. They give us some sage advice and some that might have you saying, really? We're back in a moment. Finally this morning, anyone who's hosted Thanksgiving this week, like Chris, knows there's a lot of time and energy spent making sure everything is ready in time. Is that true?
Oh, that's true.
And those of us who haven't might not know just how much work there is to it. That includes kids.
We thought it'd be fun to ask some kids at Chavez Elementary how they think it goes. Take a look at what they had to say to our News 3 Now This Morning team earlier this week.
How do you cook a turkey?
In the stove. Buy one from the store, and then I would cook it in the oven.
In a microwave. My mom does, but if I cooked a turkey, I would probably just put it in the oven for like an hour.
Buy a turkey at the store, heat it up.
What temperature would you cook the turkey at?
50, 30 degrees.
8? Oh, that sounds good.
How long would you cook a turkey for?
1 minute. 4 minutes.
A long hour. 4 hours.
And how do you know when your turkey is done?
When it looks like it's fresh.
When the stove beeps.
If it's like too warm, then put it back in the oven and make sure that it burns.
What are you most thankful for?
My family and my sister and everybody in the whole entire world.
A great family.
Having a great family and having a house.
Well, a house and a great big family.
Turkey.
So how do you cook a turkey?
You know, that's the one thing that was brought over because we cooked everything else, but I know that there's a lot of work that goes into that one as well.
Yeah, I've never even tried. I can usually manage the desserts. Like, I can bring something and sometimes can't always promise it's going to be homemade.
All the sides and the ham, at that point, I'm like, okay, I think I can get something going. The
Your
turkey,
ham looks good, too.
The turkey's going to be the next one. So that'll be the next challenge for next year. The other challenge facing people right now is going to be getting home because there's a powerful storm system over the Midwest and the High Plains, and that means very high impacts. Blizzard warnings are in place throughout parts of the Dakotas and Nebraska. Winter storm warnings for northern Wisconsin and Minnesota. Folks, we're not talking a little winter storm. We're talking upwards of a foot of snow in those areas. So if you are traveling north, you will want to make sure that you are prepared for what you're going to be facing on the area roads. You're also going to see blowing snow with very high winds associated with this storm. So folks in the Twin Cities, folks headed towards Green Bay, folks headed towards the UP of Michigan, pack your patience, drive safely, or better yet, just put it off till Monday.
And we will see you back here at 8 o'clock. Have a great morning.